Hey up and good morning everybody. Let me just run through my breakfast just before a race. So it's now just before 8 o'clock, it's 10 to 8. The race is at 11 o'clock. So 3 hours before, I'm going straight in with a tin of rice pudding because that's a whole lot of carbs and it disappears to nothing. And then I've got my usual 40 grams of chocolate, dark chocolate, that's about 85% that, it's really strong stuff. And then some beetroot shots. I normally have just normal beetroot juice, but it's race day, so I'm going for a double shot. No morning coffee, straight in with some electrolytes just to get rehydrated. So I'm going to get this done now. I'm going to turn the camera off. If you don't want to watch me eating, I'll see you in an hour's time. All right, everybody, it's almost 2 hours before the race. But before I tell you all about the bicarb, I found somebody else to explain it for you. Hi up everybody, look who I found at the running show. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, I'm Josh from Flycarb, and we're the company that specialises in sodium bicarbonate supplements for runners like yourselves. I think you've been using it at a few races?
I've been using it since you started selling it, mate. Honestly, yeah. I'm one of the original ones.
So we basically sell a supplement. It comes in two parts. You get your mango energy mix and your bicarb. You mix it, you take it 2 hours before racing. What it does, it acts like a sponge to soak up the lactic acid and helps you basically push a bit harder at the end of a race. I think you obviously like it.
You know what, it's really got me some PBs this year, seriously.
Awesome.
Smashed me 5K right down to not far off getting underneath the 18 minutes. So.
And that's why we do it. Yeah. That's what we love.
Yeah, we are. So I'm going to try tomorrow the one that's got the caffeine in. Yeah, so I got the cross country tomorrow, and that's the camera there, mate. And I'm going to give that bad boy a go. But thanks ever so much to Josh. Nice to meet you, mate.
Here we go. Good luck, Neil.
And I'll see you next time. Right, before we start, I've just got to do the disclaimer. I'm not getting paid in any way, shape or form to do this. I'm just showing you what I do with my pre-race routine. I was very lucky enough to meet the chaps from Flycarb yesterday, but this is me showing you what I do. It's nothing to do with them in any way altering what I say or do about my own vlogs. But let's run you through this. So I'm going to try this stuff today, the peach calf mix. I've never tried the peach flavour before. I've got the scissors because it's awful to get in there. But basically what we're going to do is just tip that in the little mixing pot we've got. I will have to make a bit of a hole at the top as well, I just remembered. Because if you look at the actual packet, you can see it's got a line across it, and that's like a fill line, so you know how much water to put in. So I'm just going to put water into very nearly almost that line, because I don't like it if it's too runny. There we go. Put that down. Right, now just the same with anything when you mix it. If you put it all in at once, there's a good chance you're going to get lumpy bits. So I put a little bit in. Just get my spoon. Where did I put that? It's there. Just give that a mix with some of the water, and that'll make a nice thick paste. Smell the peach, it's nice. And then I'm going to put the rest of the water in. And then mix all that water in there. If you've never tried this stuff before, I can't recommend it enough. It's absolutely magic stuff. It really does help you when you're running them all-out efforts. Oh, whoops, that's a bit of base gone. Right, did you get that on camera? I've just stirred it a little bit and a bit went over the side. All right, this is the bicarbonate of soda stuff, and that's measured out. The amount is in there, depends on your body weight. So I'm just going to stick that in there now. And it's nearly go time. Just give that a right good mix. It smells nice, so let's give it a go. Turn away if you don't want to watch. That's all right, actually. And there we go. All bicarbed up, ready to go. I'll see you in about an hour. Just here at race registration now, let's have a look. Just going to pick up my chip time ankle tag. And we're going to have some fun. Let's go for a run.
Together, you're going to stick on, hold on tight. Yeah.
This is fast, isn't it? You can. I've got to do an extra lap to tickle the something after. Facing himself. Wait, I know that's it. You want to do in front of me? Is he still? Oh God, I thought you were.
And onto the soft muddy ground we go. 3 laps of this. The ground underfoot is absolutely nasty soft with mud. Every single footfall is like running on a marshmallow, and it's just going to sap all the energy and strength out. So this really is a game of getting the pacing just right. I know what my threshold is, so my plan is just to run to threshold and hope I've got enough left in the tank for a good sprint at the end. What I am going to do is we're just going to skip through this first lap just so you can see the course. I'll cut a big chunk out then and we'll go right to the sprint finish, because there's no point watching 3 laps, it's just going to get very repetitive. But let's get back to the action and listen to that squishy ground. Every corner you turn, it's just like running on marbles. It is that slick. I'm so worried now that I'm going to go around the corner too quick and my feet are going to go from underneath me. It is absolutely horrifically mushy soft mud. And full disclaimer here people, I made completely the wrong choice for my shoes. I had been told there's a big rocky path section, so spikes just wouldn't be the answer. Truth is, at the side of that rocky path section there's some nice soft ground to run on, and I would have been so much better to use my spikes for this, because as you can see now, what we're actually running on is so soft and mushy. Running in trail shoes was just completely the wrong choice. So if you look to the heart rate there on the right hand side, we're at 160 now. My actual top limit that I want to run on this race is 163 beats a minute. That's what my threshold is set at. And if you look at the pace there, 430s. Just to put that in context, if I were running on tarmac, a flat part run or a race, my pace at that kind of intensity, at that effort, would be about the 350 a kilometre. That is how hard this ground is to work on. It is sapping every bit of strength and energy out of my legs. This is so difficult. If anybody's watching this and you've never run cross country before, I highly recommend that you get it done, because this is really the hardest racing you're ever going to do. It's also fantastic training. The amount of effort that's going into this is way and above anything that I'd ever do on a road race. This is so difficult. It's something that you really got to experience it just to see how difficult this actually is. And it's at this stage of the race where I'm thinking, I've got 3 laps of this to do. This is absolutely disgusting. This is so difficult. Look at this, we've actually got a hurdle. Up and over I go. That could have gone really south though. That could have gone so bad. But everybody else was doing it, so in for a penny. You've probably noticed by now that this is a flat course. There's no downhills whatsoever. And that is a really bad thing. All the other previous cross-country races, they've been really undulating. We've had some really steep climbs and some fierce downhills. And I've got to be honest, the ones with the really steep hills in, I actually prefer, because at least when you're on those courses, when you're going downhill, you can just let the brakes off and freewheel, and it's an opportunity to rest and get your breath back from the intensity. When you're on flat ground like this, there's no respite, there's no getting your breath back. It's full on, continual hard work. This path by the river was never ending. It was just one of those runs where I was just desperate for a change of direction. This was really sapping every ounce of energy out of me. And this is where we turn off the mud and onto the hard, compacted bit of a track there. So here I'll be able to get a bit of respite from the mud and hopefully be able to pick my pace up a bit. But my legs are shot by now. My legs are feeling like jelly. Even though I've been really sensible with my pace, this is hard work. We're just coming towards the end of the first lap. I know there's another 2 laps to do, and my legs feel like I'm running wearing pit boots. This is so hard and difficult. Right, everybody knows the deal now. You're approaching people at the finish line, so this is where you try and put your brave face on. You try and be a little bit smiley and not look like you're running your insides on the outside. Just on the left there, Missy say up. And before long, that nice hard ground that we're on now is going to be straight back onto the mud. And that'll be the end of the first lap. I'll just skip it right forward now to the finish sprint for you.
Thank you. Well done.
And here we are on the finish straight. This is where I'm going to put my lungs on the outside and give it an absolute full send. I've locked onto this chap now with the yellow singlet. I'm just going to use him to drag me to the end. I've got nothing left in my legs after these 10 kilometres high intensity. I'm just going to keep this man just on my shoulder now and hope that I can draw some energy off him. But this chap's got other thoughts here. He thinks I'm a threat. He thinks that I'm actually trying to beat him. So he's just dropped a bit of a sprint now and put some distance on me. The old classic, put an effort in, get some distance and break the person behind you. I've got no intentions of racing this chap. All I'm trying to do is get to the end. So I'm just going to keep right behind him now for as best I can. I'm going to use him just to drag me to the finish. And you watch, when I get to the end, I'm going to thank him for it.
Come on, Spikes.
Look, he's looking over his shoulder. It really doesn't want me to get by him. And I've got no intentions of...
Well done, boss.
Yeah, well done, mate. And that is the last race of the Hereford and Borders Cross Country League, finished and done. And that was absolutely brutal. It's a pretty flat course, but that means that there's absolutely no recoveries, no downhills to get your breath back. Ground really sticky mud, so each foot were at least 1 kilo heavier. So finished and done, just waiting for the awards now. Give the winners of the individuals and the teams a good round of applause. And then it's on to tomorrow. It's back to the grindstone, back to the training, and tomorrow we've got 60 minutes easy. So until then, I'll see thee.